Patricia and her late husband and kidney patient, Russell Crowley, were two of a small group of individuals who, over 60 years ago, saw a desperate need for more information and support to be made available for kidney patients. So they came together, took matters into their own hands, took action, and created what became the original BC branch of the Kidney Foundation. And over the years, countless numbers of kidney patients and their families have reaped the benefits from this small group of kidney patients with a vision. But back then, the knowledge of what kidney patients were going through and an understanding of kidney disease was very different.
I used to write letters to myself because in those days there was nobody to go to and there was nobody that knew enough to know that you needed help. I was lucky in a couple of very, very good friends, and one was my boss. He was like a brother. He was a true friend, and this friend, Martha, she just knew how to lift everybody. She spent a lot of time at our house. I was so busy trying to cope, finding out that there really were people that you wanted to depend on, just didn't know, because people didn't know.
Yeah.
I have to say that what I've seen since we opened up that box is my mom has really gone down memory lane, and a lot of feelings and emotions are coming up, and a lot of things that she's still carrying around.
Yeah, that's true.
And she spent a lot of time looking through things and remembering and reading her letters, and it's been quite an emotional journey, and also for me.
A big part of my life it was, you know.
Yeah, and you were young, Mom.
Yeah.
My mom, I think, was 39 when my dad passed away.
Yeah.
And when I think back to then, 39.
Yep.
They didn't even get going. I mean,
that's right.
They were just not even in their middle ages. They were young. In fact, the older I've gotten, and when I've come up to that point, because when I was young, he was old. I was a kid.
Yeah.
Then I got closer into my 40s, and I'm like, geez, my dad was young. And then I got over past 40 and older, and I'm incredibly sad because I'm realizing how young he was and how young my mom was.
So Russell was in his late 30s when he received his kidney transplant. At that time, he was only the third kidney transplant recipient in all of BC. Is that something that Russell took pride in?
He did. He felt wonderful. He freely was happy, and, you know, now I can get on with life. And that lasted about a year and a half, and he gradually kind of got sick again. He started to bloat here in his stomach and stuff like that. And I thought, oh no, not again.
I always remember as a kid that it was Christmas time and he felt really ill, but we didn't know he did. He lasted right through Christmas, and I think it was the next day, maybe Boxing Day, he said, I have to go to the hospital. But he kept going right up until that day because he wanted us all to have Christmas.
Yeah.
And then he died in early January. So
January something.
That was your last Christmas together as a family.
Christmas together, and he was so strong and determined that I knew even as a kid that he went as far as he could go.
Yeah.
He was done. So
yeah, there was no other thing they could do.
One last Christmas together as a family. That's beautiful. But his legacy lives on.
Oh.
I appreciate everybody that has found out about our history box, as Charlotte calls it. I appreciate that something like this has come from all the effort that the family and the doctors and stuff, the whole group went through. It was pretty rugged. I missed things like going on family camping things during the summer and the normal things.
It's almost hard to fathom the impact, I think, when you look at that little founding document and you learn about how it was then, and to see and hear now how it's blossomed into this huge organization with all this phenomenal support, and know that my parents, even going through what they went through, and suffering from not having what now is available, that they somehow got it together to support each other. And then I'm very proud, and it's hard to put it into words, really, because you sacrificed a lot for it, really, and would have preferred not to go through it. But it just shows the kind of people that they were, and how strong they were, and how resilient they were, and how caring they were for other people. So my heart's pretty full about this, I have to say.
Yeah, sure. Russ would have been proud to know that everything he went through, he's left a pattern.
So that one day we won't have to live with this disease, and one day there will be a cure.
Thank you both for taking the time to share the story of your family's journey with kidney disease and Russell's legacy in being part of this small visionary group of founding members of the BC Grant to the Kidney Foundation. A group whose actions epitomize the famous quote by Margaret Mead, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has."